The school was really a neighborhood school. All the children walked to school, and we had a long lunch hour, and all of them went home at lunch for their lunch, you know, and then came back. So it was about an hour and 15 minutes for the lunch hour. And it was just different. Very few of the mothers worked. So that made it different than what it is now. And in fact, it took quite a few years before Grewenow ever had a hot lunch program. We were one of the last schools in the district to get it.
I think school started at that time a little bit after 8, maybe 10 after 8. And I wasn't the first teacher there, but I liked to get there fairly early.
Oh yes, and I like to get there early so you had enough time to do what you needed to do, like you might want to put the assignments on the board. I had them do an assignment notebook, and they were to take it home and have it signed so that, you know, everybody at home knew what we were doing at school. Some of the things, like the science curriculum and the math, you had manipulative kind of things that you needed to find it and have it ready so that you could get it done in the amount of time that you were given, and then you just sort of needed to be ready for when they came.
Well, of course, when I first started, we just had this half of the building, or they built on the other half. And so we lived under construction. That would have been one thing, adding to. It didn't have a library at that time. The library you had was in your room, and that would be the books that you'd be using.
I really did like teaching reading. And at the end, maybe the whole time, we had reading in 1st and 2nd grade twice a day. A big section of time in the morning and another in the afternoon, early in the afternoon. And so what I liked best doing, we took the most time of the day. And that was nice. That was nice.
Okay, the first classroom, then we had rather large numbers. I had a 3rd grade class, and there were 31 children in the class. And we didn't have any special programs. So, you know, for children, if they were having problems, you handled all of that.
Well, actually, it was kind of interesting. Back in those days, you know, it was funny, as you say, people would ask, well, what do you teach kindergarten? Oh, I remember when I took my little rug to school, you know, and laid on the mat. And basically, back then, because there was not so many people going to daycares, and this was their first experience from homes, I think I had, of the 33 my first year, I only had 3 moms that worked outside the home. So, I mean, see the dramatic change then.
Mr. Grewenow and I went to school together, and I knew Mr. Grewenow for many, many years.
He was nice to work for. He sort of allowed you to do, he expected you to know how to do what you were doing and let you do that, and would help you if you needed any help with something.
He always made his trips through and was a very visible principal, but very kind and helping principal.
Well, he was like the father, really, of a great big family, you know, and the school was his family. And it was nice. He was very considerate. He was very personal. So he knew everybody. And I remember after I'd had children, and he would always set up all the conferences for the teachers. And if there were 4 children coming here from another family, or from the same family, he would make sure that he would have it all synchronized. And so we didn't have to do that part ourselves. He'd just have it all set up.
Oh, very reserved and not a lot of humor, but a nice guy to work for. Because he always said to me, well, I know you from way back. And that sort of paved the way a little bit, I guess.
Oh, he was fantastic. If he was angry at something, he'd come over, he said, are you going home after school? Yeah. He said, I'll be over for a drink. And he would tell me his problems, you know, things in school and stuff. He was super.
Oh, he respected you. He had been an elementary teacher himself. And I don't know, he was just great.
Okay, we had math, the reading. Reading was very important. I mean, that had the longest time span. And at first we did groups, but then, you know, reading has evolved from different programs to, and you tried different things. I think the one that probably was here the longest was the Scots-Forsman program, which was a really phonics-based program.
Phonics was frowned upon. All these fads that come and go, but phonics shouldn't have been a fad, and it was dropped for a while, and then it came back. And when I was teaching, we taught phonics every day, especially in first grade.
Math.
And then the math went through the different things, and we had science, and we had social studies, you know, at the 3rd and 4th grade level.
Social studies, you're studying about other people, and you can't go all those places, but I tried to get the idea to the kids that it's fun to go those places if you know they're there. You won't miss it if you happen to be in that area, and it's written down for you. It's not boring. It's written down for you so that you can know about those places if you can't go all those places.
We were responsible for one art class a week because, you know, for the children to get their 2 art periods in.
Then we got the art teacher. So then I loved to do the music, and then we got a music teacher. So out goes Jacobson. She doesn't count anymore. Jim, oh, that was my first love too. I did that for a while, and then nothing. We'll get a gym teacher. And I never could figure it out.
There was an emphasis earlier with penmanship, and then it was almost like penmanship wasn't important anymore. You know, you got more into your computers and your keyboarding and that.
I loved language arts, and I did get a master's degree in language arts. I really like writing and speaking and drama and well, people expressing themselves. And that relates with foreign language, too. You know. I never used to be very good at math myself. I was afraid of math when I was a child. But after I started teaching, I thought, hey, that's really easy. What was wrong with me? I think there's a fear. I think a lot of people have a fear of math. Many children do, you know.